poverty in China and its potential solutions. And to begin with, I would like to quote President Kennedy's word on that the society as a whole, whether poor or rich, if a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. Here's the outline of my speech today. I'm doing an introduction now, and then after that, I'm going to talk about my introduction, my understanding of poverty in China, and then what has been done about poverty, ethical stances we can take, and then I'll do a conclusion. So first, I'm going to talk about the story of my hometown. My hometown is over here, which is over 800 kilometers from DKU. So in the 1980s, my hometown was a relatively poor area, and to quote my mom's words, we lacked all the ordinary supplies except of the air we breathed, and also the only electrical appliance we had in our home was the torch. So you can see how poor they were at that time. Fortunately, China gained the economic prosperity from the 1980s, and my parents were lucky enough to also gain wealth from that economic prosperity. But with the economic prosperity, it also brought the rise of Gini index, which signifies the income inequality in China. And as of 2014, there were 89 million people who are still suffering from poverty. To cope with that situation, the Chinese government implemented a policy called the targeted poverty alleviation. So the targeted poverty alleviation involved first identifying those who need help, and second, to implement specific policies to change the situation, change the poverty situation of them. And according to the Chinese government, poverty has been completely eradicated as of 2021. However, some scholars question the poverty standard made by China. So the poverty made by the Chinese government is $2.25 per day. However, the poverty line that the World Bank would recommend to China would be $5.5 per day, which is more than double of the poverty line set by the Chinese government. So with that being said, there's certainly some room for improvement regarding the poverty elimination in China. So here I'm going to, so I think the poverty elimination is not just the government's job, it's also our individuals' obligations. And so I'm going to talk about some moral stances that we can take on the poverty elimination. This guy is Peter Singer, and he made some arguments on that. So Peter Singer emphasized utilitarianism. That is, we should prevent harm unless it involves relatively more moral sacrifice. And the second point he made was the impartiality, which is that the physical distance should not be influencing our willingness to help others. So the takeaway here is that we should not only value those around us who might be relatively affluent, but also, why don't we consider those might be far away from us, who might be suffering from poverty, from all kinds of difficulties, whatever. So to sum up, I acknowledge the huge improvements that have been made in the elimination of poverty in China. However, I would say there are still room for improvement. And finally, I think we as individuals can also take an active stance in the elimination of poverty. and we can also publicize the moral stances so that more and more people can join the collaboration in the poverty elimination. Thank you very much.